Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. Change is sweeping through Old Trafford, and at the heart of it is a man with a sharp eye for talent and a bold vision for the future. Manchester United have officially appointed Jason Wilcox as their new sporting director, marking a new chapter in the club's transformation under Sir Ratcliffe and INEOS. Wilcox's rise comes as Sir Dave Brailsford, once central to United's football reboot, steps back from day-to-day operations. Known for shaping Manchester City's youth system into a powerhouse and impressing United's top brass since joining from Southampton, Wilcox now holds one of the most powerful voices at the club. With executive changes, a new manager in Ruben Amorim, and a growing emphasis on long-term football structure, United fans are asking one question. Is this the leadership that finally brings the Red Devils back to glory? Manchester United have appointed Jason Wilcox as their new sporting director, after it emerged that Sir Dave Brailsford would be stepping back from his duties. The Red Devils had been without a sporting director since announcing the shock departure of Dan Ashworth in November. United had spent half a year chasing the ex-Newcastle Chiefs' signature before co-owner Sir Ratcliffe axed him after just 5 months, citing a lack of chemistry and costing the club, who've made hundreds of staff redundant this year, a huge £4 million in compensation. Wilcox, 53, was poached from Southampton and arrived as technical director 2 months before Ashworth. But now the former Manchester City Academy head has been given new position, one with increased seniority after impressing Ratcliffe and senior Old Trafford figures, The Athletic report. Wilcox's promotion coincides with Brailsford's decision to step back. The ex-British cycling chief is the director of sport for INEOS, Ratcliffe's petrochemical conglomerate. Brailsford has been a consistent presence since Ratcliffe purchased his initial stake in the club, which has now increased to 28.94%. It's one of several changes to United's hierarchy during Ratcliffe's 18-month tenure. In April, INEOS chief Jean-Claude Blanc stepped down from his position as a director of the club. A regular at matches home and away, Brailsford was involved in the appointments of chief executive Omar Barada and head coach Ruben Amorim. The 61-year-old carried out an audit of United's football operations and was across the £50 million refurbishment of their training ground. Carrington Brailsford even stepped down as INEOS Grenadiers team principal to focus on the footballing project. But he'd become less visible in recent weeks, choosing to spend more time in Monaco after becoming a father last year, and will have less of a presence going forward. Brailsford will remain on United's football club board alongside legendary manager Sir Alex Ferguson and former chief executive David Gill. Ratcliffe reportedly wants him to mentor cyclist Geraint Thomas, who's expected to be given a senior management position within the Grenadiers once he retires as a rider at the end of this season. Brailsford can also focus on INEOS' other sporting ventures. He was once influential at French side Nice, but United's failure to qualify for European football means that he can work closely with them again. UEFA's ownership rules prevented INEOS from being as hands-on as Nice qualified for the Champions League. Will INEOS bring success back to Manchester United? Give us your prediction in the comments section. Wilcox, meanwhile, will hope to enhance his growing reputation at Old Trafford. Jason, for me, is a guy at the coalface, Ratcliffe told The Times earlier this year. He ran the academy at Manchester City. Cheeky Begiristain. I know, thought Jason had the best eyes in the club. Jason knows what's working, what's not working, in terms of how Ruben's playing, his system, which players he's picking, which players we are going to buy in the future. And Jason's got views on all of those things. And when I listen to Jason speak, I get what he's saying. Ruben Amorim is making one thing clear at Manchester United: no one is bigger than the badge. Known for his bold leadership at Sporting CP, where he sold top stars without blinking and delivered 2 league titles, Amorim is now wielding that same iron fist at Old Trafford. Big names, big attitudes, it doesn't matter. If you're not all in, you're out. In just a few months, Marcus Rashford has been loaned out, Alejandro Garnacho is on the market, and Jadon Sancho is packing his bags. Even Antony, rediscovering his spark in Spain, looks set to move on. Amorim's message is loud and clear: buy into the vision or be part of the clear-out. Here's how the new boss is reshaping United one fearless decision at a time. Ruben Amorim once proved that no individual is bigger than the team by putting his biggest sporting CP stars up for sale before winning 2 league titles. The Portuguese head coach is now demonstrating the same ruthlessness at Manchester United by sticking to his guns and selling any player that doesn't fully buy into his philosophy. Amorim came into the sporting role as a fresh-faced and inexperienced manager in March 2020. But he had a plan from the off, which was to establish his own style of play with his own players. That, in turn, sparked a mass clear-out in his first transfer window at the helm. The tactician sold a whopping 7 players in his first summer, with 3 more leaving on free transfers and 15 being loaned out. It didn't matter who they were. If they didn't meet his requirements, they were axed. Marcos Acuna had made 36 appearances the previous season and even wore the armband in the final game of the 2008 season against Benfica. But the hot-headed Argentina international was quickly sold to Sevilla. Another player that butted heads with Amorim and didn't survive to tell the tale was Islam Slimani. The Algerian had returned to Sporting as a fan favourite in 2022 and immediately started scoring. Yet Slimani only lasted a matter of months as his attitude didn't sit well with his manager. Amorim sent the forward home early from a training session, citing his lack of commitment and inability to make a big effort with the team. Slimani had reacted poorly to being told he would not be starting ahead of striker Paulinho for a game, which crossed the line in Amorim's eyes. The manager said at the time, "Those who train better, play better, and are called up. It doesn't matter to me. I can risk my work and qualifiers. It will be like this until I stop being a coach." That has also become a recurring theme during his short time at Old Trafford. We saw just weeks into his tenure back in December that no player was untouchable, as he cut Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho from his matchday squad against Manchester City. Rashford was then completely frozen out and sent out on loan to Aston Villa in January, with the United Academy graduate expected to leave on a permanent deal in the coming months. Garnacho, meanwhile, reportedly showed dissent towards his head coach and has now been listed on the transfer market this summer, with the likes of Napoli and Chelsea interested in signing the £40 million winger. After the final game of the season against Aston Villa, Amorim delivered an apologetic speech to the Old Trafford faithful, in which he promised the good days are coming following their lowest ever Premier League finish. A key part of instilling that vision is working towards a squad overhaul in the transfer window. Like Rashford and Garnacho, Jadon Sancho is also expected to depart after Chelsea paid a £5 million penalty fee to send him back to United, having decided against signing him permanently. Winger Antony is also set to leave after rediscovering his form on loan at Real Betis, where he said he is smiling and happy since joining the La Liga side in January. Many more are sure to follow him out of Carrington's doors.